Alright, this is CTF 2 Street A1B. Oh, I just realized why it was called 2 Street, because it's 2 Street. Anyway, A1B by Steve the Pocket. Something we noticed was that there isn't like a main section of the map. There isn't like a center section of the map, and what that ends up creating is that
two different team death matches along each street. Like, I know the name of the map is 2 Street, but there really is nothing but 2 streets. And I can understand maybe that's because it's an A1 and you'd plan to add something else. But I mean, this is what we're here for. We've got some ideas as to what you can do to really fill out this map and make it something new and interesting.
Yeah, so the first thing that you already know that was discussed in the game day, and you said, yeah, that seems like a good idea, so you know about it, but just reiterating that moving the spawn room to the other side of the road where it is currently, that would be not only making it less disorienting for players, that they don't have to walk backwards to get back to the map, but also making it so that where the spawn room is currently, you can make that the centerpiece of the map, that maybe it connects to the other current spawn room or something, just so that there is that centerpiece, and then you just recycle it, I guess. But yeah, making it so it's less disorienting would definitely be a good thing, because I think that's everyone's first initial reaction to the map was, I don't know, the layout of the map.
And also, if you were to put the spawn room on the other side, we mentioned, or rather Egan mentioned during the game day, that most right-handed gamers' first initial idea when coming out of a door and coming to a T-junction is to try turning right. And in the case where you turn right, you end up with this great big drop down and you immediately take full damage. Whereas if the spawn was on the other side, that would be to your left. So that's another reason why moving the spawn room over to the other side of the street would be a good idea.
Speaking of the drop down currently, though, an idea that we had was to minimize the fall damage, because inevitably, unless I guess you take the medium health pack, but that's not in your mindset when you come out of the spawn rooms to get health pack, just mentioning, is that opposite side of the road from the health pack, if you put one of those Tokyo buses, or you find some other model like an awning to put here, so that so you can drop down on it and then not take fall damage. And what Rubbish was saying was that because it takes longer to go to this side of the street and not take fall damage, then if you're in a rush, you need to stop that flag carrier, you could just drop down and take fall damage. You have to make the choice, do I want to go quick and take fall damage, or do I want to go slower, I guess by a second slower, but still, and not take fall damage by jumping on the bus. That's a cool idea. I like it.
Yeah, and the streets could also, I mean, this gets to the detailing phase, but at the moment, it's a little on the empty side, so don't be afraid to add some, boxes of stuff on the sides when you turn these walls into shops or whatever you're planning. I would also recommend using Ali's custom food boxes and stuff that they made for Back Scratch's arena map. I think that could add something to the map, and especially with the next idea that I want to suggest, the centerpiece of your map. In order to add a real proper area for people to fight in, and to also connect the 2 streets together, because at the moment it does really feel like there's 2 different death matches happening. What we suggested is creating a shopping mall in the center with maybe 3 levels or so for each of the different outside street heights, and then you could, when you get to the detailing, you could make it really cool looking with escalators and various shopping fronts and all sorts of cool stuff, and that would really make your map unique and different and interesting.
a little minor annoyance is that in the sewer section of the map, the water is just a little bit too high, and if you just hold control, then it makes you bob up and down, and it's just kind of annoying. And especially near the box, I mentioned in the game day with the feedback plugin, so you'll see it, and you'll probably turn it into a ramp, and it's probably already a ramp by now. But where the box is, I always crouch jump, always, and if you try to crouch jump, sometimes you'll crouch in the water, and you'll bob, and you won't jump onto the box, and it's just a minor annoyance. It's an annoyance. You'll probably turn it into a ramp anyway, but if you did not do that yet, you could just move down the water a bit and then it would solve the bobbing issue.
Another reason why you would want to have a centerpiece in the middle is to do with this staircase area leading down into the sewers. That it is like extremely cramped, and if you were to open it out a bit more with, you know, that kind of shopping mall in the center, then there would be places to go and battles to be had, rather than that extremely awkward, sudden start, sudden staircase down.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like the I guess like the positioning of the intelligence rooms is probably almost okay. There's a couple of things to note though, that the actual room that contains the intelligence is it's really, really small. It's the smallest that we've ever seen in a CTF map, and the reason why CTF maps have large rooms for the intelligence to go in is so that the that is an area where you're guaranteed some amount of fighting is going to occur, and you want it to be as little cramped as possible. One thing also of note is that it is really, really quick for the opposing team to get to the spawn rooms, to the intelligence. This might be intentional, but what it ends up meaning is that it's impossible to set up like a sentry nest, which probably meant for that to happen because sentry nest intelligence rooms are annoying. But what ends up happening is that all the frustrated engineers go and say, fine, well, if I can't build a sentry gun, I can go demo man, and I can place stickies on the inside of the doorway and then just not let anyone in. Alternatively, if you suddenly decide that you never want this map to be a serious map and instead you want to enter it into the April Fool's Day, what you could do instead is none of the layout changes suggested. Just keep it to the two streets its name implies, and then create a couple of cars that just run down the streets and kill everyone, which would be hilariously annoying. It's just a suggestion. I mean, under that, it's a promising start, and that you've avoided the issue that a lot of players have of making a lot of new mappers have, of making a map too complicated. But instead, you just need to fill it out a little bit more with a little bit more detail, layout-wise.
How is that man not dead?
Well, isn't it like a common problem in CTF maps that you just have a lot of turtling and then it's just deathmatch in the middle?
Well, that's what CTF basically wants.
Yeah, that's the idea of CTF. You could make it a little bit more interesting, but then you end up with something like this, where it's just one team rolling the other.
I feel like this would be very susceptible to scout rushes because it's quite easy to get to the intel and just take it out.
Not just scout rushes that's the problem. It's like heavies can get there before the defenders are.
It might work if it was. It's a bit like normal CTF, except this doesn't have a mid. So it's got like the two routes, but then all the bases are literally right on top of each other, so everyone just gets there far too quickly.
For some reason it was set at 15 minutes, I don't know why.
Also, the sewers to the intel don't seem to be very much use to anyone really, because they're right outside the friendly spawn, so the enemies basically never get there, so that route never gets used.
If the intel leaves the spawn room, it's lost. Like, there's no way of getting it back.
You failed!
Also, why has my bot killer wrench disappeared? Why is it now just a stock wrench?